world, and I was like promiscuous for like 10 years. So the 9 years I did with God was erased by 1 year. By 10 years. So what that debt was coming to pay. I'm walking away from God. That means I'm walking away from being obedient to God. That means the moment that I stop being obedient to God is the moment that I'm in disobedience to God. So now I'm walking with the devil. The devil said, you can do this, you can sleep with her, you can do that, you can go there. And now the grace line, which we would call God is merciful upon the just and the unjust. And at that point, I'm unjust, so God is still merciful unto me. But the enemy he will keep testing. No, we'll let's say it this way: the enemy will keep presenting you these suggestions to push the envelope. You can go a little bit further. You sleeping with one woman, you can sleep with two. You never get. It's not about getting caught. You don't care about anybody catch you, nothing like that. Of course, you protect yourself. You put on condoms. You do this or do that, whatever. But you're not really thinking about how it works in the soul. The soul was made for one voice. The mind, the will, the emotion, intellect, and imagination was made for one overseer. We would call that that voice. I mean, is for the director, and that director's chair to so the soul can walk behind, right? So if that soul is listening to things that are unholy or things that are unrighteous, you can't help but to fall into a ditch of torment. So what happened with me, I stressed out. You know what I mean? I mean, everything was going good, but then everything fell apart. Why everything fell apart? Because the enemy comes to collect. He sets you up with this. It's like you going to the you going to a all you can eat restaurant. Not exactly all you can eat, but it's like you going to a restaurant, and soon you go into the establishment, they tell you, hey, the meal is on the house. Order whatever you want. So you just go to town. You order everything. So like your bill is over $2,000. You have no cash. I mean, you got nothing on you. Or if you do got something on you, you don't have $2,000, right? So now they say, well, you know what? We're mistaken. That 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 deal we said we was giving you, or that that gift or whatever, it is really void. It really doesn't work out that way. There are some incentives and everything else, but there's a miscalculation. In other words, you still have to pay the debt of $2,000. And what do? You're gonna try to run, but you can't run too far because the authority is on you. And in other words, in the spirit realm, when you are listening to the enemy, you are in debt to the tormentor. God would allow it. So what happened to me? I'm out there wilding out. Let's say, like, for example, I don't drink, I don't smoke. So it's one thing for me to be promiscuous and being in fornication, me having sex with different women. It's one thing to do that, right? But then it got to the point where I'm plotting to have a threesome, something like that. I'm pushing it. I'm pushing it. I'm not condoning uh, uh, um, sex without marriage. I'm not condoning that at all. I'm not condoning fornication. I'm not condoning adultery. I'm saying I went past that point. I'm doing whatever I want. And then you get these invites to do this. I didn't. Don't get me wrong. I didn't take the invite for the threesome and anything else. But you're considering it. It's an option now. Once upon a time, it was frowned upon. You weren't even thinking about doing anything like that. Now it's like you're considering it. And then you go to the point where you get invited to go to a bar and everything else. You don't drink. And now so the enemy is doing it one thing. He's wooing you away from God, slowly but surely, slowly but surely. But at the same time, he's sticking you with a debt. He's sticking you up to follow everything that he laying down. So you're gonna have to pay him. In other words, you're gonna be a slave in his kingdom, in the natural realm and in the spiritual realm, until you give up the ghost. So with that being said, I got to the place where I tanked out. I was spiritually gone. There was no connection between God and I. I'm dead in the water. So all of a sudden, if I had money and everything else, all of a sudden everything gets wiped off the table. Money dries up, uh, job dries up, the savings, everything is gone. Now you stuck with this massive debt. You're what 2 years behind on your taxes, property taxes. Your gas and light bills is like massive amount. You have no food. You got no money. You got nothing. And this is what the enemy would do. He's a thief. He would lead you to the bank and say, all this money is yours. But he didn't tell you that you're stealing it. He just told you all of it belongs to you, so you're gonna take it. So it's like the government, like it's not gonna say the government. It's almost like with this insurance thing going on, and people were trying to get this money, a large amount of money, whatever. And they said it's free money. If you got insurance, you could, this is this. Uh, if you're getting it out of dishonesty, you're gonna pay for that. The person like, well, they will never know. I mean, how would they know? That's not how it works. The same voice that told you there's an opportunity to get this money illegitimately or in a way of being dishonest, it's the same voice that's going to catch you. It's going to tell where you are. If there is a voice that told you you can get this money in the most dishonest way, you could come up with a scam, a scheme, whatever to get it right. That very same voice that told you to do that is this very same voice that's going to tell on you where you are. So you will have to pay that debt. And then a person, even in the midst of that happening, they still don't believe there's a Satan. So a person just evil on their own. I'm not saying a person don't choose to be evil. Yeah, of course, a person chooses to be evil. But I am saying there is a voice that leads us to be in disobedience to God, which is what? Evil. With that being said, my people of faith, you are the blessed. Let's be the blessing. Let's keep walking.